All right, Hungry Now apprentices, welcome back. We're going to jump right into a really important part of your curriculum. This is all about K2, and it answers a huge question. Where does our data actually come from? Okay, so think about your day-to-day. You're constantly surrounded by data, right? From driver locations to restaurant orders, even weather forecasts. But have you ever really stopped and thought, wait a minute, where is all this stuff coming from? And more importantly, why does it even matter? Well, it matters a lot. Look, this isn't just some small detail. Getting this wrong can be a pretty big deal. If you get your data sources mixed up, you could totally misread a trend, and that can lead to some seriously off-base business decisions. So yeah, we have got to get this right. So this brings us to what I'm calling the data source dilemma. Let's break it down into the three main types of data you're going to be working with. You absolutely have to know these. First up, we've got internal data. This is pretty straightforward. It's all the info we create and control ourselves, right here inside Hungry Now's own systems. Think of it as our own homegrown data. But, we can't just rely on our own stuff. To get the full picture, we need external data. This is information we get from outside sources, like our awesome restaurant partners. It's super important, but here's the catch. We don't have direct control over it. And last but not least, there's open data. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's public information. We're talking about data sets that are just out there, free for anyone to grab, use, and share. And that includes us, of course. So, internal, external, open, why do we even bother with these labels? What's the point? Well, the point is everything. Knowing where your data comes from gives you context. It helps you figure out its quality, and crucially, you understand its limitations before you even start crunching the numbers. Okay, enough with the definitions. Let's make this real. Let's look at how these three types of data actually come together in our world, right here at Hungry Now. All right, check this out. Our own ordering system, that's internal. We have total control, which means we can really trust the quality. But then you look at external data from our partners, like a driver's location feed. The big question there becomes, is it reliable? And just as important, what are the usage rights? Do we actually have permission to use it for what we want to do? And then there's open data, like a weather API. Super useful, right? But the responsibility is totally on us to make sure it's accurate and actually relevant to our analysis. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. Why is this so critical for you? Well, there's the big one, your endpoint assessment. Trust me, this stuff isn't just theory. Understanding it is absolutely key to passing. So let's do a quick exercise. Put on your assessor hat for a second. Imagine you get a question like this. How could we use open data, say a public holiday calendar, to figure out our staffing needs? See how that works? It's all about connecting a specific data source to a real business problem. In your scenario demonstration, this is exactly the kind of thing you'll be doing. So, step one, you'll probably pull some order history from our own database. Boom, internal data. Step two, you might mix that with restaurant ratings from one of our partners. That's your external data. And then for step three, maybe you'll pull in some weather data from an open API to see if rain really does slow down deliveries. You see, you're combining all three to find a really powerful insight. Then, when you get to your professional discussion, you've got to be able to talk the talk. You'll need to clearly explain the difference between these sources using real examples from your work. Like how driver logs are internal data, but restaurant menus are external. And here's the super important part. You have to explain how you checked and respected the usage rights for any external data. And whatever you do, always tied back to the evidence in your portfolio. Look, mastering this is about so much more than just passing a test. Think of it like developing a data superpower. It's a skill that will make you a much better analyst. So let's recap. Internal, external, open. Just remember those three. They're not just words to memorize for a test. They are the absolute foundation for making smarter, better decisions here at Hungry Now. And don't forget why this is so huge for you personally. When you really get K2 down, it's not just about passing. You'll work smarter. You'll find those game-changing insights way faster. And yeah, you are definitely going to impress your assessor. Seriously, you've got this. You're already one giant step closer to absolutely smashing your EPA. So now, the only question is, with this new superpower, what are you going to uncover first?